I stood on the graduation stage, my valedictorian medal glinting in the afternoon sun, watching my stepsister Cassidy practically vibrate with anticipation. She thought the prestigious Walker Foundation scholarship was about to be awarded to her. If only she knew what was coming. I'm Olivia Chen, and this is the story of how my parents gave away my $850,000 college fund to my stepsister, only for karma to deliver the most perfect revenge. 3 years earlier. Olivia, we need to discuss something important. My father's serious tone immediately set off warning bells. He sat beside my stepmother Sandra in our living room, while Cassidy perched smugly on the armchair across from me. I was 17, just starting my senior year of high school. My mom had passed away when I was 8, leaving me a substantial college fund from her life insurance policy. Dad had invested it wisely over the years, growing it to over $850,000. It was meant to cover my undergraduate and graduate studies at whatever top university I chose. "What's going on?" I asked, though something in Cassidy's expression told me I wouldn't like the answer. "It's about your college fund," Dad began, not quite meeting my eyes. "Your stepsister has been accepted to Harvard." "Early admission," Cassidy interrupted, beaming. They loved my essay about overcoming adversity as a child of divorce. I bit back a retort. Cassidy's adversity consisted of her mom getting a massive divorce settlement from her cheating ex-husband, then marrying my wealthy father 2 years ago. She'd never wanted for anything in her life. "That's wonderful," I said carefully. "But what does that have to do with my college fund?" Sandra cleared her throat. "Well, Harvard is very expensive, and while we have some money saved for Cassidy's education, it's not nearly enough." "No." The word came out sharp and cold as I realized what they were suggesting. "That money is from my mother. For my education." "Olivia, be reasonable," Dad said, his voice taking on that patronizing tone he'd developed since marrying Sandra. "Cassidy needs this opportunity. You're brilliant, you can get scholarships. Your stepsister needs the money more than me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "That money is literally from my dead mother." "Don't be so dramatic," Cassidy rolled her eyes. "It's just money. Besides, you'll probably just go to state school anyway." I stared at my father, waiting for him to defend me, to tell Cassidy she was out of line. Instead, he wouldn't meet my gaze. "We've already decided," Sandra announced. "The money will be transferred to Cassidy's education fund next week. You can apply for financial aid like other students." "You can't do this," I whispered. "Dad, please. Mom wanted this for me." "Your mother would want us to help family," he replied weakly. "Cassidy is your sister now." "Stepsister," I corrected coldly. "And Mom would be ashamed of you." I stormed out of the house, tears blurring my vision. My phone buzzed with a text from my Aunt Lucy, my mom's sister who lived across the country in California. "Call me immediately. Something's wrong with your mom's trust account." When I called, Aunt Lucy was furious. "They can't touch that money. Catherine set up the trust with specific conditions. I'm one of the trustees." Hope flared in my chest, only to be crushed by her next words. "But your father, he found a loophole. Because he was named as co-trustee and you're still a minor, he can redirect the funds for family education purposes." "I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I should have seen this coming when he married that woman." I spent that night crying in my room, looking at old photos of Mom. She had been brilliant, a quantum physicist who'd taught at MIT before getting sick. She'd always emphasized the importance of education, setting up my college fund even before she was diagnosed with cancer. The next morning, I dried my tears and made a plan. If I couldn't rely on my parents, I'd find another way. I threw myself into my studies with renewed determination. I was already top of my class, but now I became unstoppable. Every free moment was spent either studying, working on college applications, or researching scholarships. Cassidy, meanwhile, flaunted her Harvard acceptance and my college fund at every opportunity. She bought designer clothes and a new car with money that was supposed to be for my education, claiming she needed to look the part of a Harvard student. "Don't be jealous," she'd say whenever she caught me looking at her new purchases. "Maybe if you'd tried harder, Daddy would think you deserved the money too." I said nothing, But I was already putting things in motion that would change everything. You see, what my family didn't know was that I'd been corresponding with Dr. Eleanor Walker, founder of the prestigious Walker Foundation, for over a year. It had started when I'd written a paper on quantum entanglement that caught her attention at a state science fair. Dr. Walker had been my mother's colleague at MIT. When she learned who I was, she took a special interest in my work. We'd been discussing my theories and research ever since, though I'd never mentioned my family situation. Until now. They did what? Dr. Walker's voice crackled with indignation over the phone when I finally told her everything. Catherine's college fund? The one she set up while she was dying of cancer. Yes, I confirmed. But I'm not calling for sympathy. I have a proposal for you. My proposal was simple. I'd developed a new theoretical framework for quantum computing that could revolutionize the field. But I needed resources to develop it. The kind of resources only top research universities could provide. Send me your full research proposal, Dr. Walker said. And Olivia, don't worry about Harvard. That's not where you belong anyway. I spent the next month polishing my proposal, while also applying to every major university's physics program. Cassidy mocked my efforts, especially when her Harvard acceptance package arrived with its glossy brochures and golden crimson letters. Still trying for scholarships? She smirked. You know, if you'd just accepted things gracefully, maybe Dad would have left you some of the money. I just smiled. We'll see what happens. What happened was this. I got accepted to MIT's combined BS/PhD program in quantum physics, my mother's old department. But that wasn't all. I also received the Walker Foundation's first ever full achievement scholarship, worth over $1.2 million. The scholarship wasn't just for undergraduate studies. It would cover my entire academic career through postdoctoral research. It made my stolen college fund look like pocket change. But here's the best part. Dr. Walker insisted on presenting the award at my high school graduation ceremony, where I would be giving the valedictorian speech. She wanted my whole family to be there. The day of graduation arrived bright and clear. Cassidy sat with my parents in the front row, all of them dressed expensively and looking bored as other students received their diplomas and various small scholarships. I gave my valedictorian speech, speaking about perseverance and finding strength in adversity, while looking directly at my stepsister. She rolled her eyes, probably thinking about her own essay on adversity. Then Dr. Walker took the stage. Before we conclude today's ceremony, I have a special announcement. The Walker Foundation has chosen to award its first comprehensive scholarship for academic excellence and innovative research. Cassidy suddenly sat up straight. She'd applied for several Walker Foundation grants to supplement her Harvard fund, though she'd never actually met Dr. Walker. This award, Dr. Walker continued, worth over $1.2 million, will cover all academic expenses through postdoctoral studies at MIT. Cassidy actually started to stand up, a triumphant smile on her face. This year's recipient, whose groundbreaking work in quantum computing theory has already drawn attention from the international physics community, is none other than your valedictorian, Olivia Chen. The look on Cassidy's face was priceless. She froze halfway out of her seat, then collapsed back down as the audience erupted in applause. But Dr. Walker wasn't finished. Olivia's work continues the legacy of brilliant MIT physicist Dr. Catherine Chen, whose tragic death left a void in our field. As Catherine's daughter, Olivia has not only inherited her mother's brilliant mind, but has developed her own unique theories that could revolutionize quantum computing. My father's face had gone pale. Sandra was clutching his arm, whispering furiously in his ear. Cassidy looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. Furthermore, Dr. Walker added with a stern look at my family, this scholarship is protected by an irrevocable trust. No one can redirect these funds or interfere with Olivia's education. The emphasis she placed on irrevocable trust made my father wince. He knew exactly what she was referring to. After the ceremony, Dr. Walker made a point of greeting my family. Mr. Chen, she said coldly, I worked with Catherine at MIT. She would be devastated to know what you did with the fund she established while dying to secure her daughter's future. Dad stammered something about family obligations, and helping both his daughters. Stepdaughter, Dr. Walker corrected. And from what I understand, young Cassidy here has been accepted to Harvard. She turned to my stepsister with a piercing gaze. I reviewed your application to our foundation. Fascinating how your essay on quantum mechanics was word for word identical to a paper published in 2019. Cassidy's face went from red to white in seconds. She had plagiarized her application essay, never expecting to be caught by someone who actually knew the field. I can explain. She stuttered. No need, Dr. Walker cut her off. I've already informed Harvard's admissions office about the plagiarism. They take academic honesty very seriously. She smiled grimly. I believe you'll be hearing from them soon. Sure enough, 2 days later, Cassidy's Harvard acceptance was rescinded. All her other college acceptances were withdrawn as well once the plagiarism came to light. She ended up having to take a gap year, and eventually enrolled in community college. The money my parents had taken from my college fund, most of it had already been spent on Cassidy's pre-college shopping sprees and Sandra's necessary home renovations. When Harvard demanded back the deposit they'd paid, my parents had to take out a second mortgage on the house. I moved to Cambridge that fall, starting my program at MIT. Aunt Lucy helped me find an apartment, and Dr. Walker became my academic mentor. My quantum computing research has already led to 2 patent applications, and I'm on track to complete my PhD 2 years early. Dad tries to contact me sometimes, usually when he needs money. I don't answer. Sandra sent me a long email about forgiveness and family obligation, which I forwarded to my spam folder. Cassidy occasionally posts passive-aggressive comments on my social media about privileged people who don't help family. I just focus on my work, knowing that Mom would be proud. The photo of her that once sat in my childhood bedroom now has a place of honor in my MIT office, right next to my Walker Foundation award. Sometimes karma needs a little help to work its magic, but when it does, it's absolutely perfect. 5 years later, I'm now Dr. Olivia Chen, the youngest quantum physics professor ever tenured at MIT. My research has revolutionized quantum computing, leading to breakthroughs in encryption and data processing. The patents I developed during my PhD studies have made me financially independent many times over. Cassidy eventually graduated from community college with a business degree. She tries to claim we're sisters whenever she needs networking connections in the tech world. I always refer her to HR like any other applicant. Dad and Sandra divorced last year. Turns out she'd been planning to leave him for a wealthier man all along. She tried to claim part of my patent royalties in the divorce, arguing they were family assets. Her lawyer actually laughed when he saw the trust documentation Dr. Walker had set up. Aunt Lucy moved to Cambridge to be closer to me, and we've established a new scholarship fund in my mother's name at MIT. It specifically helps students who've lost parent support due to family circumstances. Dr. Walker retired last year, naming me as her successor at the foundation. Now I get to help other students achieve their dreams, regardless of family support. The last time I heard from my father, he was trying to repair our relationship, claiming he didn't understand what he was doing when he gave away my college fund. I sent him a short reply. I understand exactly what you did. So did Mom. So does karma. My mother's dream of my education didn't die with her, or with the loss of my college fund. Instead, it grew into something far greater, a legacy of helping other students achieve their potential. The Catherine Chin Memorial Scholarship now supports 10 students annually, focusing on young women in quantum physics. 2 of our first recipients have already made significant contributions to the field. As for my quantum computing breakthroughs, they're being implemented in new security systems that protect against cyber attacks. Every time I see our technology saving someone's data or protecting their privacy, I think of Mom and how she always said education was the key to changing the world. She was right as always. Sometimes I wonder if Dad ever truly understood what he gave away. Not just the money, but the trust, the relationship, the connection to Mom's memory. But then I remember, some lessons can only be learned through loss. My story is now used as a case study in estate planning, showing why educational trusts need better protections. Dr. Walker made sure my scholarship trust was absolutely ironclad. No loopholes, no codicils. No way for anyone to redirect the funds. The day I received my PhD, I placed my diploma next to Mom's old MIT degree in my office. To Dr. Chen's mother and daughter, separated by time, but united by passion for physics and belief in education's power to transform lives. That's worth more than any college fund. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.